Is Yorgos available for selection for Saturday?
No,
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 he's out.
he's out.
I think Carlos mentioned he had a setback or something.
No, not a setback. It's most just he's in the rehab program as it was initially. He trained this morning before us. He trained on the field. He's doing well. He's just he's taking time.
It, okay, just no sense in pushing him, or is it like
No, no,
okay?
no, no, no.
Okay. The team has, struggled a little bit to create chances the past three games. How do y'all improve that against a Miami midfield that's going to be missing several players?
Yes, well, being more creative, I would say, taking more risk in attack, especially in the final third. I felt that the last game we progressed okay, the ball into the final third in some good dangerous areas. I felt that we arrived 10, 11 times in the premises zones, but then the decision making after that and the passes and the number of players inside the box and the positioning of those. So those are things that we highlight in the video and we work on this week. And yeah, we're trying to get better in that area. With all that, we're the second best team in the league in scoring goals. We've been scoring in every goal, and I hope I don't jinx it, but we've been scoring in every game that we have played so far. We are the only team doing that, so that's a positive. We've been starting in the front foot, scoring a lot of goals in the first half, scoring first than the opponent, so a lot of positives on that side, but still we know that the last few games we haven't been as we want to be in that part of the field, and we want to improve on that.
How do you balance the taking the risks you just mentioned with the was it defensive awareness
Yeah, active defending.
that the team also
Defensive
that you want the
awareness
team to
still.
maintain?
Defensive awareness sounds good, but yeah. So we noticed that in the last game. Tomorrow we'll see on film a little bit of that, especially with Miami. At times, especially the last game, playing a little bit similar, like very good, solid, well organized, solid block of players, very determined to defend, and then very dangerous in transition, dangerous in set pieces. So in that way, similar game to Nashville. So we need to do better on that active defending. I would say the threats that that Miami has are different to Nashville in transition, but certainly they are very good on that. So we just need to keep a better organization. And at times I felt the awareness it's just the decision making on how to protect from those situations. It was that not the correct one, but the awareness is there. So that's a positive. We'll just try to correct tactically at times the strong side where the ball is, maybe more protection on that side, be more aggressive, finishing plays at times, and that helps. So yeah, we're continuously looking for improvement in that area as well.
With no Gigi, what have you liked from the backup strikers, Chol and Barry, and what do they need to improve upon to, increase the team's probability of winning?
Hard workers, both of them. They do everything for the team, defend very well, press very well. They've been improving, I would say, training sessions in the games in terms of involvement with the ball, slight progression there, the runs in behind, how they can stretch for us. But ultimately, what we have to balance out is, yes, we love that mobility, that working ethic at defending, but then when we are in the right areas to cross, they need to be in the right position to score goals. So that's that's another area where I think matchup Miguel, even Tyler at times that can play in that position. Right now, Eric Lopez is injured, but he's another one there. We need to know that yes, we want to do certain things with the nine, certain movements, to stretch opponent, but in the right moment they have to be in the right position to score goals.
And can you share, your thoughts on Caleb releasing Caleb to go to the if he's called up to go to the under 20 World Cup?
Yeah, happy to do it. Happy to do it. If he's called up, yeah, we have a plan in place. We have good communication with Mike Ibarras, who's been fantastic in that process. Mike has been outstanding at having good communication, being understandable with our needs as well as a club. So happy to work with Mikey. Happy to work with Caleb on that regard. We know that for Caleb it's very very important that World Cup, same as Atlanta. So we had to balance out. We have a plan in place, but yeah, we will be cooperating with both the U.S. national team and with Caleb.
Why just, I mean, is probably obvious, but why do you think it's so important for Caleb Wiley to be in that World Cup?
Yeah, many reasons. One is just intrinsic. You want to play World Cups as a player, right? U20s is a tournament that is very important for, getting attention from European clubs, for your own understanding of where you are in the world in your performance. So a little bit of self-belief. You try to test yourself against the best in the world in your age. So a lot of those, and I think the confidence side of I played a World Cup and I did well in that, and representing the country. Eventually, I told you this multiple times. The heart and the passion that you have for those type of games are massively important for you as a player, representing your country, your family, everything is a very good event. So we're supportive of that with Caleb. We think he's going to do a great World Cup. He's in a very good shape. So we wish him the best.
How would you assess the season so far? I mean, I know it's a long season. We're 10, going on 11 games in. But based on, we've asked you this before, but knowing what you know, and perhaps even evaluating some of the injuries that you've had, how do you evaluate the season so far?
I think we started very well. We started the season very well. I felt that probably after that international window and that loss, very painful loss against Columbus, we haven't really played the same, right? It was in conjunction with, or in connection with Brad's injury, Yakumaki's injury. So a little bit of not as consistent that we were thinking in the first part of the season. These things happen. We knew that it was early stages. I told you that it's only a few games in the season. So we are looking at being more consistent. First, we have to come back to that team that is very dangerous in attack, that is solid defensive, that we don't leak goals in an easy way, set pieces, all those little things that were very good in the beginning. I think we still have some of that, but we need to improve. Once we are there, hopefully we can be a bit more consistent and play game after game with the same style that I think we lost a little bit the last few games, but it's still not bad. We're in a great position, 3 points from supporter shield position. Again, a lot of positives, but we know the last week probably wasn't our best. So we are aware of that, and we're working on that, and we hope that this game can be one that put us again in that place.
And we asked Carlos the other day about just Thiago Almada's future. Like, are you thinking ahead to perhaps what happens in the summer if he's sold, if he isn't? Carlos said there's a contingency plan in place. Is there one for you as well if he's not here?
Yeah, we talk. I would like to say every day, almost every day, with Carlos and about many things. We have a very good communication about many things. One of those is signings, is those type of things with Thiago. We talk about that, but again, for me, it's just enjoying Thiago every day. And as long as I have him, I want to use him at the best of his abilities. For me, right now, he's the best one in MLS. No one produced more goals and assists than him, and he did it in 2 less games than the rest. So I think that's important. So my only mind is my mindset is to use him as much as I can, as good as I can for the team. If he stays till December, hopefully we can have a bit of momentum of putting him in good shape and he can produce for the team. If he leaves, because we know the interest, I know Carlos has a plan in place, and then we will adjust. But as of now, I just focus on him playing very good against Miami, and that's my only focus.
And you found a good spot for him. Now he looks very comfortable in that central midfield position, attacking number 10. He's everywhere, right? Have you thought about perhaps any change of tactics for this game against Miami, not having Gigi again? Is Thiago a player that you may want to move around as well in the attack?
Not really. The position of Thiago is something that I have to be very careful with, because, as you said, he looks very comfortable in that area. And he is so creative that I don't want to limit his creativity with you have to be only in this spot. Yes, I want him more often in certain areas where I think he can produce more, and he's been producing more, but the creativity of Thiago can come in any part of the field. We've seen many times how he can drop a line, get the ball, receive, turn, and play a very good assist on Brooks or Luis. We've seen that, so I don't need him all the time in between the lines. My preference, yes, but at times when he goes out, he produces for the team. So again, again, that positioning is always something I'm talking to Thiago, to the players around him, how we can adjust for his creativity, and he's doing very well on that. For this game, I won't adjust many things in terms of tactics. There's always the similar patterns, the similar style, trying to play out from the back, disrupt the first line of pressure, from there being better at breaking the second line of pressure, and once we're there, attacking the areas we want to attack in the final third. It's always the same process. At times we don't execute, and that's okay, but we try always the same things with different structures at times, so different personnel. So if I decided to change, maybe not the style, but maybe the personnel to attack in a different way, that's what we can do, but we still have time to make final decisions.
Against Nashville, you brought on Derek for Luis. What was the thought process behind that, and is there a chance we see that a little more going forward?
Well, one is Luis started the 3 games. So that week I felt that he was presenting some tightness and in one of his legs. So I tried to be mindful of those things and the loads, rotations, opportunities as well. We know Derek can play there. I watched multiple games from Derek playing on the right side. He's very productive in the primacy zone from that area as well. He's very good in the dribbling on the right side. Now we signed him to be probably more on the left, where we felt that he was filling that void that we had in the final third in certain areas, attacking, running behind, but he can do the same on the right. So he's a versatile player, and yeah, it was a bit refreshing that what Derek can give us there is a bit more runs in behind from that inner channel, from the inner pocket, allowing Brooks to operate more in the outside flank. So he can give us that. He can be goal dangerous. He can be more times inside the box, which helps in those type of games. So it was 2 ways. One, how I can modify the game with someone a bit more, aggressive inside the box, and also resting a little bit Luis, who I felt that he had a heavy load in that week.
You talked about taking risk and active defending. Is there a chance that maybe the active defending becomes too much of the thought process for players and kind of limits their ability to take risk off the ball and make movement off the ball?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, you've seen when we build with 3, and one of those 3 is Andrew Goodman, for example. I don't stop Andrew Goodman and say, no, you don't go. At times from that position, he plays Thiago, and then he underlaps and overlaps and finishes in attack. Now, how the others, the guys that are not participating or heavily involved in that play in particular, can adjust for Andrew Goodman leaving that space, that's what we discuss. But it's never restricting a guy, play and then stay, so we are in good shape. No, it's how we can adjust to the different moments of the games. So I felt it's more the awareness of not being man for man, or if we're man for man, we know why, and we know with whom, and we know what type of risk we're taking at that, and how we need to counter press immediately so they don't have that opportunity to play those guys man for man on the back. So it's more that to me, and I think we've been pretty okay on that. It's just the last game probably highlighted some of those in a couple plays, but throughout the season I feel comfortable with how we've been doing that.
Now that you're facing Joseph, or possibly facing Joseph on Saturday, how do you defend him? What's a 30,000-foot view on how to try to limit his effectiveness?
Well, I'm not facing him. It's Atlanta versus Miami, and
You know
eventually
I
will
have to
be
ask
the
about
players. I know. What I can tell you is what I always say. Joseph is a legend here. He had a great story in Atlanta. Now his time is with Miami, and I wish him well there. I hope he does the same for them. Good for him, and I will be happy if he has success in Miami, same as he did here. So that's all I can say. Then in the game is eventually the players who are enjoying kicking the ball around in that field, and whatever happens, it will be Atlanta versus Miami. So that's a good part.
One of the storylines from Nashville was Brooks Lennon's 100th appearance for the club. Could you talk a little bit about some of the things that maybe don't get highlighted enough about what Brooks gives to the team on and off the field?
Well, many. I think in general the team, Brooks for sure fits that profile, but in general the team, hardworking team. Everyone works both sides of the ball. Him is one that you see how dangerous he can be in the final third. In set pieces, he have had some assists from set pieces, so he give you production on the right side, getting in the primacy zones, good type of crosses from set pieces. And then I think he's a fullback with a lot of pace. He can deal with the pace, ballsy behind. He can cover that ground at high intensity. And then when someone puts a fast winger in there, I feel like he can do well. One thing he's been improving big time is his individual duels defensively. He's been doing much better on that. He's been working very hard in training sessions with film, with the coaches, and I think it's one thing that we wanted him to improve on, because we know how dangerous he can be in attack, and now he's been very solid in defense. So that's the full package for a good fullback. Not saying he has to be in the national team, but I think if he continues with these type of performances, I think is the type of fullback that any national team wants, right? A guy box to box, a guy that can defend very well, because in the higher level you need at times to face very fast wingers, but then also he can produce in attack. So he's becoming that type of player, very complete, rounded fullback for us.
Okay. Question about, I know this is your third year. You're building here right now. We, around football and even just in life, it's, people want results, want something now. How would you describe personally your relationship with the fans in Atlanta? Because when a manager connects with the fan base around the world, you can really see that chemistry. How would you describe yours right now in your third year?
I think it's good. It's just last year was very painful. Last year was very painful for everyone. So I can understand the frustrations at times from the fans, about last year. When you talk about my third year, I say, well, the first 6 months, was pretty cool. Then we lost in that game against New York City. Then last year, I felt that we're having, again, a very positive beginning of the season. The first 5 games, and in the 5th game in DC, we lost Ozzy, we lost Rossetto, we lost Joseph. Then a few games more, we lost Brad and Miles for the rest of the season. And then a lot of injuries here and there that we didn't feel like full power all the time, right? So it was a difficult season last year. So I feel like this is kind of the first season where I can, or the first 6 months, but this is the second season where I can really work with the full team and have a more normal year. So we can see the work in the training sessions reflected into the games. And I think as long as we continue in a good position in the standings, the relationship with the fans. One thing I heard from the fans is obviously they hate to lose. That's one thing, but also they feel appreciated when we try to play the type of football that we play. They appreciate the intention of attacking, being a proactive team in attack, scoring many goals, being solid at the bench is another thing that they tell me in the streets. When you interact with some of them, is one of the things that they like about the team. And I hope we can do that with good results, right? So playing good football or attractive football or exciting football with a lot of attacking actions, exciting possessions, sequences at pace, and it's dynamic. And so then they are entertained when they watch Atlanta United. But obviously, the next part is giving results. And connecting that, I think once we are there in multiple games, we're going to really connect with the fans.
Gonzalo,
Sí,
¿cómo va?
¿qué tal? ¿Todo bien, Diego?
¿Qué tipo de partido esperas para Miami?
Muy difícil, un equipo que venció 6 partidos al hilo de derrotas y lo venció de visita contra un muy buen equipo, Columbus. Entonces un equipo que va a venir muy motivado, muy sólido mentalmente, con muchas ganas y deseos de ganar en su casa. Entonces un partido muy difícil desde lo mental, desde lo anímico. Después el estilo de juego. Seguramente ellos regresarán a eso que hicieron muy bien el partido pasado, un bloque muy sólido de defensores, capaz que la línea 4 que vienen haciendo en un 4-2-3-1 defensivo, o la línea de 5 que terminaron haciendo contra Columbus. Veremos con qué salen y después lo peligrosos que son cuando atacan y conectan 3-4 pases con su gente talentosa que tiene adelante. Es un equipo peligroso en esas transiciones, peligroso en táctica fija. Campana, que es un jugador que sabemos que puede meter goles en cualquier momento. Entonces, un partido difícil, pero donde esperemos estar finos con la pelota, tratar de tener más la pelota que ellos, tratar de hacer mucho mejor con la pelota cuando lo tengamos, y ojalá que nos vaya muy bien.
¿En qué hiciste hincapié en la semana? ¿En eso, en la posesión?
Sí.
¿Qué tipo de trabajo hiciste?
Siempre siempre es cómo podemos ser mejor con la pelota. Ese es el fundamento de nuestro juego, es cómo podemos desequilibrar a los rivales de mejor manera para crear ocasiones de gol. Entonces, la base y el fundamento de eso es la salida con balón controlado. Es la base, cómo rompemos la primera línea de presión. Cuando rompemos correctamente la primera línea de presión, normalmente tenemos más posibilidades de romper la segunda porque desequilibramos al medio campo de ellos. Y una vez que desequilibras al medio campo, los espacios en el último tercio se convierten muy grandes y normalmente tenemos gente que puede atacarlos. Entonces, ese es siempre el proceso. A veces le damos más énfasis a una de esas 3 fases o 3 partes durante la semana donde necesitamos más. Esta vez sentí que la salida como lo controlado y el último tercio necesitaban más atención y es en lo que nos enfocamos mucho más.
Es un partido especial el hecho de que esté Joseph del otro lado, no por el morbo, sino porque él los conoce bien, ustedes lo conocen a él, habrá algunos chicos que se van a volver a encontrar con...
Hay un poco por el morbo, no seas modesto. Yo creo que es algo que sabíamos que iba a llegar. Entendemos la importancia que ha tenido Joseph, siempre lo he dicho, una leyenda acá, un tipo que marcó historia con el club y con la liga. Entonces entendemos la circunstancia, pero para mí, pues yo me preparo contra Miami, me imagino que ellos también, ellos se preparan contra Atlanta y al final, pues ni yo juego y es simplemente el saber que Joseph es un gran jugador, que si entra seguramente tendremos que tener cuidado con él porque es un jugador que sabemos que si algo puede hacer es marcar goles y nada más, pero después es Atlanta contra Miami y esperando a que pite el árbitro.
¿Cómo está Giacomakis?
No va a estar fuera para este partido.
¿Se empezó a trabajar ya con pelota?
Sí, ya. No, creo que con pelota todavía no. Hoy trabajó en la mañana, lo estaba viendo antes de la sesión, pero hizo un trabajo ahí diferenciado con el preparador físico.
Se pierde el partido. ¿Quién va
Sí.
al lugar de él?
Algún jugador que decida el día de mañana iniciará en su lugar.
¿Pero vas a poner un 9 de oficio o vas a cambiar la figura?
Sí, voy a poner un 9.
Brad también ya empezó a trabajar con pelota, lo vi.
Ya empezó, va bien, va muy bien de hecho. Y bueno, vamos a ver, su lesión fue un poquito más grave. Yo creo que siendo pateado 2 veces seguidas en un partido en la rodilla un portero, yo creo que es difícil y bueno, creo que le va a tomar un poquito de tiempo, pero va muy bien en su
Te
rehabilitación.
hago la última. ¿Qué significa el cariño que tiene la gente por el equipo, por Thiago Almada? El otro día hubo una actividad que de verdad convocó mucha gente. ¿Qué significa para ustedes eso?
No, muy lindo, creo que de los dos lados, ¿no? Del lado de la gente, qué lindo que tengan un referente, vi muchos niños, cosa que me dio mucho gusto, que tengan un referente, un ídolo, los niños es bien bonito, yo creo que uno se acuerda cuando uno tenía sus ídolos en sus equipos y podías verlo, tener su firma, mi madre me las cosía en la playera cuando tenía la firma de algún jugador y esa sensación es muy bonita, tener un ídolo de niño y la conexión que está teniendo Thiago con la gente es extraordinaria, pero del otro lado de Thiago me gusta mucho que es un tipo que entiende esta parte de que el fútbol no es solo jugar 90 minutos e irse a casa, vivimos en una sociedad, con una comunidad y que él se ha entregado a las personas y sea un tipo humilde que se acerca a dar fotos, a dar autógrafos, es algo muy positivo, que siendo tan joven creo que es muy bueno y que sea otro hábito más positivo que siga teniendo en su carrera y nada, muy contento por esa relación.
Difícil mantenerlo después del verano, ¿no?
Ya veremos, no sé, ya veremos. Seguramente habrá mucho interés, lo sabemos, ya veremos qué pasa. Just I want to, say something. Yesterday, Franco Ibarra hit a concussion protocol after the training session, so he will be out. Just want to give you that piece of information, so you know. Okay.
Thank you. Gracias. Appreciate it, Coach.